Hello, beautiful souls. Oh, my family and I caught the cold, the cold. My husband caught it first, and then I got it. Um, Definitely didn't help the situation with my head, dealing with the cold, or whatever the bug was. Just grateful to be on this side of it. So now I'm just dealing with, normal health issues, not whatever that bug was. I was hoping that I would have had a video out last week regarding the difference between astrology and horoscope, because I did read there was some confusion about that. And I was like, cool, I want to learn what the confusion is, where it lies, what it is that we can do to differentiate and help really define it. There are two clear-cut sentences that I read that really made sense to me, but I was in too much pain to research and sit in front of a computer to do that, and two, I had a cold. So yeah, that's my I missed last week, but here I am, and I have a few minutes. And earlier this week, I'm so happy. I had a few minutes where I was inspired to paint, and I have not painted in many months. I've been sporadically working on pieces. I've got two that are up on my easel right now. And one of them is a tribute to a favorite goat that's at an animal rescue over here in Riverview, First Lady's Farm and Sanctuary. Freaking amazing place filled with some awesome people. I'm so grateful for what they do there. I wanted to say the word incredible and awesome. That's why I was stuttering. And the other one is the Golden Goddess. I don't know who she is or where she's coming from, but I started her like over a year ago. I was hoping to show her in my first and only art show that I've been in a year ago, December, and I didn't feel like she was ready. So she was not shown, and I am still working on her to this day. I am popping on to share art as therapy. And it's really any creative endeavor. It's not even just art. There are so many different activities that you can do that help you focus, laser focus on something to the point where you forget everything around you. Time doesn't exist. Your brain is completely distracted from the pain, or at least I'm experiencing moments of that. But as soon as I'm done with that activity, be it sketching or painting on acrylic, with acrylic on canvas, baking, I'm learning how to do sourdough. Do you realize how difficult sourdough can be? But also how easy? There are certain things that you can do that really make it a lot more sensible, I guess. I don't know, less complicated. I don't know. I'm still playing with it. Sourdough is a different animal, let me tell you. I digress. Any creative activity. And I wish I knew how to tap into that, to have that all the time, so that my brain doesn't feel the pain, the daily pain from the trigeminal neuralgia, which hits my cheek, my teeth, my jaw, the side of my face. It always feels like it's burning at different levels of feeling like it's burning, because I do take medication that helps with the nerve pain. It takes it down to a sizzle, to a flare, to a sizzle, to a flare. But when I start doing those passion-focused efforts, and I think that's what it is, passion-focused efforts, it really does seem to help. Can I sit at a computer to do it? Not much. I even sit at a yoga ball, seeing if that would help. Does not help. Even to do preparation for these videos, I usually end up just doing them on my phone and then sending the information to my computer so that I can print it out. Or if I can format it on my phone, I'll print it out, but I'm laying on the couch to do it. I've tried to use my laptop out there. It just doesn't, nothing's working right now. So that's not working, but I could do painting and baking and sketching, when it happens. It doesn't happen every day. I wish it did. But when it does, oh my gosh, I am so grateful for those minutes of freedom. Freedom. The pain's still there, but it's not there. It's there. Does that make sense? So I've used art and creative type efforts, or even physical activity. Ballroom dance is another one. It's a creative aspect. You get focused, laser focused on what you're doing in that moment. It's a passion project. My whole body and mind are in it. And for those 30 minutes to 45 minutes I would get to dance back in the day, I can't now, but when I was, it really, really diverted my brain's attention temporarily. I would have bouts where it would spike while I was doing it, and then I'd be like, hold on, I didn't take a minute. But then we get back into a rhythm again. It would start to kind of subside a little bit. I would be in that moment of dance again, and then poof. And then it comes right back again. It never fully goes away, but it's dull just enough to where I'm like, wow, that's what that feels like again. I really, really appreciate that feeling. So when I had that moment this week of wanting to paint after so many months of not painting, and those pieces staring at me every time I pass by this room, yeah, I figured I would do a video on it. It's freeing. It really is. Oh my gosh, I wish I was over there doing it right now. You know what? Let me see if I can get set up over there, because I can't sit like this any longer. One moment. Hello again, I'm back. Okay, so this is way more comfortable. I'm like standing and sitting at the same time, so yay. So here are the two pieces I was talking about. One is our departed friend, Biscuit, Mr. Goat. He was the sweetest goat. He would visit every person. He would greet them right at the gate. The tallest goat I've ever met. I mean, he was like so tall. But he would greet everybody, and just that beautiful soul of his. So when I heard he passed away last year, I thought I would paint him. And then this is the Golden Goddess. I don't know where I'm going with her, but she wanted to be created, so here she is. And I've got Mr. Piggy over here, whom I keep forgetting that I have and I really want to play with. You can tell I love this color. This is one of my favorite colors. I haven't thought about putting that on this one, the Golden Goddess, but probably not. Anyway, the point is, I will use art or those seriously focused activities to create what's in my mind's eye, and it really does distract from the pain or anxiety, frustration. Just temporarily in that moment, it distracts from what is going on. It's not an escape. It's all still there, but it is a temporary moment of peace where things aren't as intense. So if you have not ever tried art or some sort of creative passion effort, and you do deal with chronic illness, I would highly recommend it. I do understand that there are art therapists available these days, which we didn't have many decades ago. I do believe they are required to have a psychology or a counseling degree of sorts. I don't know exactly what that is these days, and I think it may vary depending on your state. So if you are looking into finding an art therapist, somebody who can actually digest what you're creating and maybe the why behind it, there's a couple of different ways they can do with that. I lost my train of thought. One moment. All right, so I just looked it up for Florida because I was very curious. Florida apparently does not have specific state licensure in place today, or at least as of the time I'm pulling this, which is March 2026. It does say that you should have a mental health license of sorts, an LMHC or an LCSW or an LMFT in order to practice. Again, I am none of those. My master's is in technology management. That's my MBA. That's as far as I went with schooling. So there is education and licensure behind it. It's just, it needs to be more defined in Florida is what I'm gathering. So there are specific testing and analyses that can be facilitated by an art therapist. They can do an analysis of your nonverbal symbols, metaphors, and themes used in your artwork to help identify what's going on in the unconscious mind. They could also do some diagnostic assessments using standardized art-based tools to evaluate mental health conditions. That's called psychopathology. Psychopathology, there we go. Say it the second time I got it. They could also do a developmental analysis assessing the child or adult's developmental level through the artwork that you create. Also, a clinical evaluation using the art to assess for trauma, anxiety, depression, or any other emotional challenges that you might have. They may also have a treatment evaluation, which will analyze changes in your artwork over time to measure the effectiveness of their therapy. I really appreciate that. Benchmarks are so important. Know where you start so that you know how far you've actually gone. So I found that to be pretty comprehensive as far as what a trained art therapist might provide to anyone that's looking for help in that area. If you are not ready to jump into seeing an art therapist, I would, just because of my own personal experience as a person who uses art to help work through some things, especially pain for me. At this time in my life, it's dealing with physical pain, and I do see doctors about that physical pain. I see them on a regular basis. I have the diagnostics, so that they understand where I'm at over time, etc. So that is being handled on their part. I also have a psychotherapist that I can reach out to in the event that I have any trauma that starts to bubble up, at any point. So those parts are covered, but I don't have an art therapist that I work with specifically. I've just been using art in my life since I was a teenager, and it's something that I've always gravitated to, even when I was scared to do it, and even more so when I was scared to share it with other people. So you don't have to show anyone your art. You can, what, I think they call it a Zen doodle, and they even use it, I think, in the art therapy realm. Research that on your own, please. Get a piece of paper, and you can just do a line, just one single line looping through the entire page. 2 times that I've done that, I was able to actually create a face. It was the coolest thing. I was able to see the pattern of where the face would go and the hair and all of that. So maybe try something like that, see what bubbles up. It was just a cute little character that I drew. It wasn't any sort of trauma-based or emotional anxiety or depression-based, any of that. But it was a nice way of getting out of my head, connecting with my body, my hand on the paper, holding the pen, physically, mentally, and emotionally in it, and working on those pieces. Same thing when I get to paint. I'm standing here at the easel, I'm going through, letting the brush strokes go where they want to go. oftentimes I don't know what's gonna happen when I do this stuff. I didn't realize I was doing shading where I was doing it. I grabbed the colors that I was gravitating towards, and I added the gradient where it was needed, and it just kind of appeared, and I was like, oh, that's his little snout and his little legs, and it just kind of worked out. I haven't quite gotten his feet yet. Those I don't know what those are. They're either socks for sneakers, or he's gonna have his little hooves down there. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But yeah, I need to work. I love his little heart nose. I need to work on that one. But trying to get the energy to do it, that's kind of challenging. And I empathize with anyone dealing with chronic illness. And if you're trying to push through to do this stuff, don't push yourself too much, please. I know what it's like to push yourself, and then you get to the point where you're just like, okay, I need to go, like, which is kind of how I feel right now. I think I'm at the end of this video. So I had a moment, I had a few minutes. What is this, like 10, 15 minutes? I think I've been on the air or on this recording. So, or the various recordings, since I had to start and stop a few times. But I am getting pretty weak. So don't push yourself past that. If you start feeling yourself getting drained, getting weak, do what you know you're supposed to do for your body. I'm not going to tell you what that is. For me, it's get off my phone, go drink some water, lie down, grab an ice pack or a heat pack, lie down, put it on my head or neck, put a heat pack on my face, whatever it is, right? Sit in a dark room, which is where I'm about to head right now. This is one of the brightest rooms we have in the house, which is why I have sunglasses on every time I'm in this room. Yeah, just do what you need to do for you. You know what your body responds to. I don't. So I just want to preface that, or finish with that. So artist therapy, it has definitely been something that's helped me. It continues to help me. Creative endeavors overall beneficial. So I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, a beautiful weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.